This is Kyle McCord, and you're listening to Austin, Felix, and Matt on the Devy Debate.
Welcome to the Devy Debate. All right, boys. Are we ready to debate? Austin, you tweeted something, girl. You tweeted your running back rankings. Explain yourself.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast. You jumped up and
That's Austin Nace.
Who is going to be that guy? And for me, Bijan Robinson is still going to be that guy.
Back to the ground with Robinson, who spins and then tries to bounce it. A stiff arm, another one as he rides it, keeps his balance. They're going to say he stepped out, but
I'm Felix Sharp. I know you didn't think that we would get through this episode without mentioning the name one Zach F. Wilson.
Screener draw. Oh, Wilson is going to uncourse for the end zone, and he drops it in beautifully. And it is his roommate, Dax Milne, on the touchdown.
That's Matt Bruning.
G. Scott Jr. Obviously, I waxed poetic about him on the last episode, so I won't do that again here.
And it's Justin Fields on the carry. Watch out. Justin Fields hails Columbus, 51 yards.
It's going to be, I've got to continue. I got Kyle McCord is going to end up winning the job. He's going to be rated higher up.
Our apologies for Curve Street. We ran out of time. We'll get him rescheduled soon. And for Matt Bruning and Austin Nace, I'm Felix Sharp. Good night and good luck. It's 9:30 Eastern time on the greenest time zone of them all. That means it's time for the Devy Debate. That's Matt McBruning. That's Dwight McPeoples. Austin Nace is on the International Space Station, and I'm Felix McSharp. On a magically delicious version of tonight's show, Matt Corral or Carson Strong. We talk spring training camp battles again, and Mr. Peebles tells us why we should trust Jim Harbaugh with Donovan Edwards. But we start with NFL free agency with several signings already being reported. Dwight, which signings do you believe will have the greatest impact in fantasy football in 2021?
Well, the obvious answer is Aaron Jones, I think. He comes back into a system where he knows. Hopefully he rebounds after his terrible, terrible end to the season last year. But I estimate there will be a little bit of a timeshare with A.J. Dillon, so A.J. Dillon owners don't have to be entirely worried there. But it's obvious answer is Aaron Jones, dark horse answer. I like Corey Davis a lot too. So the tight ends don't do anything for me, man. Like a lot of the other signings, it's been pretty meh so far. So I haven't been too overly impressed thus far with free agency.
Not impressed with Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith to the Patriots? That doesn't get your juices flowing?
No.
Well, that leads us into, let's go to a quick impromptu Devy Debate after re-signing Cam Newton and signing Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar, Matt Judon on the defensive side, GVSU stand up. Are Bill Belichick and the Patriots back as AFC East contenders? Bruning, why don't you start us off there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not just about adding who they added in Cam Newton and Jonnu Smith. And, Kendrick Bourne doesn't do much for me. But Hunter Henry, I do believe they want to go back to that two tight end set they made famous. They were the ones who really started that back in the day with Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. You got their defense. All their players on defense are coming back that opted out last season. They've improved their offensive line with some of the trades and moves that they've made. They just landed Kyle Van Noy again, literally as we were getting ready doing our pre-show stuff. So Bill Belichick is a great coach. And I'm not going to say that some of that doesn't have to do with Tom Brady. Obviously, he's the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. So he is definitely a huge part of why Bill Belichick has succeeded. But Bill Belichick is also the greatest coach, in my opinion, to ever coach at the NFL level. So I do think that he is back. Now, are they the top favorites? Are they going to beat out Buffalo? I can't say that. I love Josh Allen. I love what Buffalo's doing. But do I think that they can compete with Miami to be that second spot and get into the playoffs? Absolutely. I believe in Bill Belichick, and I do think that Jonnu Smith is going to have a huge season this year with the New England Patriots. They do inspire me.
Yeah, they don't mean, man. I love Belichick, man. I really do. I do think he's a great coach. It just seems like a lot of meh, though. I don't know. I'm not impressed with the signings. I'm curious to see how he makes it all fit. I thought Cam Newton looked just absolutely trash last year. I mean, obviously getting some extra weapons helps him. They're going to contend in the AFC East, I think. But I think 9-7 is a realistic high point for what they can do. I don't see it, man. I just think it's a lot of man trying to get to some place where I'm curious to see where he thinks he's going with all this. So, I don't like it, man.
I think the most condescending and dismissive way to start a rebuttal is with the word imagine. So imagine Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith and Cam Newton changing your mind on what Bill Belichick is going to do this season. Imagine that. Imagine Kendrick Bourne and Nelson Aguilar thinking that there's going to be something different there in New England. I'm sorry. No. Cam is washed. He's a starter, and he should be starting for the Monday Night Football booth. That's who he should be starting for. I think he would be great in that role, but he is not. When's the last time we've seen Cam Newton be good? I love Cam Newton, but we haven't seen him be good in a very long time. And I'm sorry, but I think that the NFL is going to catch up to that wishbone offense that they're going to try to run in New England. So Bill Belichick has like a 40% winning percentage without Tom Brady. And we're supposed to be. I just don't know, Bernie. I'm sorry. I just don't understand what it is. Why you think that there's going to be something different in New England when they pretty much signed the same quarterback. I mean, their offensive weapons improved marginally. I don't think it's going to be different.
Better than marginally. Imagine throwing Cam Newton under the bus because he signed 2 weeks before the season last year, caught COVID, and couldn't do anything in that offense. He didn't have any time to learn that offensive playbook. I believe in Cam Newton. I think he's what he was when he won an MVP? Absolutely not. To say he's washed, everybody forgets that he was actually decent at the beginning of the year last year, and then he got hurt, he got COVID, and he admitted that affected him more than he thought it was going to. He rushed back. I don't know which one of you that is, but you can get out of here. I don't know if that's Austin. Oh, I know who it is. Never mind. But Cam is not washed. I believe now. I'm not saying he's going to go out there and be Aaron Rodgers or any of those top quarterbacks, but again, he's going to be a decent quarterback. All Bill Belichick and Josh, is it McDaniels or Daniels? Now I'm confused. I'm talking myself into a circle. McDaniels. There we go. It's all you and the Mick and stuff earlier is kind of like messed my head up. So, Josh McDaniels, I think they're just going to have Cam Newton distribute the ball, and they don't need him to throw it deep. Kendrick Bourne doesn't do anything for me. I don't care about that, but I also don't think Cam Newton's the future. And I'm also not saying that Cam Newton's going to start the season. If you look at the way that contract that they gave him, that's not necessarily starter money. I can't say that they don't draft my guy, Mac Jones, at 15, and he doesn't start out the season and lead the Patriots to a playoff. I don't know that. But Cam Newton there, I think, gives them some stability at the quarterback position. He learned some of the offense last year. Now he gets a full offseason, hopefully preseason game, so be healthy. And I do believe adding Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry to that group helps them because, you can't say marginally improved it. They had absolute trash there last year. N'Keal Harry, I've never liked him to begin with. Bust. They had Damiere Byrd was their best wide receiver. Devin Asiasi, I don't remember. Tom? Not Tom Izzo. Tom Izzo's a coach. Ryan Izzo, the tight end. Like Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith are major steps up over all those guys.
I just don't have really any confidence in the coaching staff, including Josh McDaniel, who let go of Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall for Tim Tebow, and Demaryius Thomas, who was not very good very early on in his career. So we'll see what happens. Just continuing on here, Dwight, with free agency, is there an impact player in fantasy that hasn't signed yet that you that you're paying attention to, and where would you like to see that player land?
It's obviously our ex-Detroit Lion, Kenny Galladay, man. And you see I don't know how much to trust people on Twitter, but it seems like to the Giants is almost a done deal. I don't know where they're getting those sources. I don't know where that's coming from. I don't sit there and patrol Twitter all day trying to find sources and things like that. But it's obviously Galladay. Giants would be a decent landing spot. I'm still not a huge believer in Daniel Jones, but that would definitely be – he would complement that offense really well with Sterling Shepard, and if Evan Ingram ever gets on the field. So a field stretcher like Galladay would be a great addition to that offense. So,
well, they added a field stretcher. Yeah, and John Ross. I mean, I'm still a believer in John Ross. And Dwight is shaking his head over here. I still believe
I'm a Bengals fan. Get that out of here. Get it out of here. Get it out of here.
Oh man. But they've got a field stretcher, and if they add another weapon there and they're all healthy, I just really like the way that offense could look and help Daniel Jones develop. And we still got, a very deep wide receiver class, okay running back class, but they could even add weapons, especially tight end. I mean, they've got tight ends that they could add in this class. Bruning, is there a player that you think can make an impact that hasn't signed yet?
Yeah, I want to stick with Galladay because, Dwight, you just said that you're a Bengals fan. The recent report came out earlier that the Bengals offered him a pretty good contract. I actually would love that spot for him to give them a guy opposite of Tyler Boyd and, my goodness, help me out. Now all I have is Jamar Chase in my head because that's what they keep mocking.
T. Higgins?
T. Higgins. Opposite of T. Higgins in that offense, I mean, allow them to go offensive line or somewhere else in the draft because everybody keeps mocking them, Jamar Chase and Kyle Pitts, because they need another receiving option. If you're able to get Kenny Galladay, I think that'd be great for that offense.
That would be pretty decent, but if they do not go offensive line at 5, I'm gonna lose my everything. They need offensive line so bad. So, and there's this, like you said, this class is deep enough where they can get a complimentary wide receiver later on in the draft. So, I don't know. I don't like that for Higgins' value, but I understand the fit as well. So, that'd be interesting.
All right. Well, let's move from prospects from pros to prospects. Schools are starting training camp with spring practice, I should say. Dwight, is there one particular training camp battle that you are paying particular attention to?
Yeah, the big one for me that I'm watching this year that I just want to see how it shakes out in Oregon at quarterback after Tyler Shuck, or however the heck you say his last name, left, which is a good thing in my opinion. They're stuck now. They have grad transfer Anthony Brown, who looked pretty good when he was at Boston College. I call him the 4-star twig. Jay Butterfield is there as well, who obviously has a little bit of draft pedigree. And then they obviously brought in super freshman Ty Thompson is what I called him. So I'm really curious to see how that shakes out. I hope that Thompson wins, but I can see them sticking with the veteran like Anthony Brown for a year. I don't think Butterfield's got much of a chance. He kind of scares me. I mean, he might break if he's ever hit by anybody in any division. So it kind of scares me a little bit. So I'm going to be watching to see how that shakes out. It would be really awesome to see Ty Thompson win that and just take that job and run for 3 years. So I'm really watching.
I think a lot of people are crossing their fingers that Ty Thompson wins that job, and you have to like the wide receiver weapons around him in Troy Franklin and Devin Williams. Troy Franklin, one of the highest rated wide receivers in this class, kind of this long, lanky, speedy player that you always see go to Oregon. So we'll see what happens there. Bruning, what's the training camp battle that you're paying attention to?
So I'm actually working on an article for the site about that right now. And the one that's kind of really intrigued me is Utah. They've got 4 quarterbacks in there right now. Charlie Brewer, who transferred in from Baylor. They have Cameron Rising, who actually won the job over Bentley last year, but got a shoulder injury on like the second drive of their first game and was out the rest of the season, had surgery. He actually won't be back until possibly July this year. Jaquindon Jackson, who transferred in from Texas, was dealing with the partially torn ACL most of last year that he suffered in his final year in high school. And then a guy that I really like, and that is Peter Castelli. One of our own, Austin Nace, mentioned him on the Campus to Camp podcast as well. 4-star, the number 10 dual threat quarterback as of right now. He has like track speed. He's extremely fast. Ran a 400 meter time, which was completed in 42.29 seconds, the fastest in the state. And you would think in hearing that all he has is legs in, right? Like he's just a runner. Dude's got a cannon. Like he can actually sling the ball, can throw the ball deep with accuracy. His mechanics are not great, but he actually is a very good thrower of the ball as well. I don't know if he wins the job this year. I think it probably ends up going to Brewer, maybe Jaquindon Jackson, just because I think Jackson fits that offense a little bit better, but Brewer comes in with all that experience, and I don't think he just transfers there for no reason. But I would love to see Castelli get the job this year or at least next year, but that is definitely the camp battle I'm watching the most, since I didn't want to talk about, the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Well, you talked about a red and white team, so I mean, it's almost Utah is one of those teams that I feel
scarlet and gray, sir.
Red.
Hold on.
Red was red.
Hold on. I've got a drinking game that I play. Whenever Matt unnecessarily says "the" in front of Ohio State, I drink. So
it's not unnecessary.
Is there another Ohio State that we need to worry about? Come on, honestly.
There isn't, because the Ohio State University is the only one that matters.
No.
Well, the training camp battle that I am paying attention to is one that we've highlighted earlier in this show, and that's the Florida State running back battle. You've got Lawrence Tuafili there. You've got DJ Williams, the Auburn transfer, and you've got my guy, Jashawn Corbin, who, according to reports from 24/7, has been the star of the offseason camp. I love me some Jashawn Corbin because of his size and his versatility. We just haven't seen him really pop yet. But the thing to be aware of at Florida State is the fact that Mackenzie Milton is there after being injured in 2018. In 2017, Mackenzie Milton threw for 4,000 yards, and that UCF offense was number 5 in the country. So if they can put together, and Destin Hill is going there, who Austin Nace is very high on, if they can put together an offense that's, somewhat comparable to that and just not what it has been in the last few seasons, you could see one of these players pop, a running back maybe pop, and I think that could be Jashawn Corbin, who, was playing a wildcat quarterback once they got close to the goal line last season. So it's just that team and the jump that they could make this season is just something I'm very intrigued by, specifically because Mackenzie Milton is going there and they haven't had a really good quarterback there in a very long time. So that is one that I'm paying attention to. All right, boys, we've gotten here quickly. Are we ready for the Devy debates?
Yeah, let's do it. No, let's do it.
Yeah, well, thanks. Somebody answer me. Come on.
We tried.
All right. Couple of sophomore running backs here. Who is more likely to break out? And Dwight, we'll start with you. DeMarcus Bowman or Marshawn Lloyd?
Hold on just a second. Dang it. Sorry, guys. I had everything pulled up here. For me, it's DeMarcus Bowman. I don't think there's anybody in that backfield that can do what DeMarcus Bowman can do. Damian Pierce will still have a role there as a pass catcher back. Might fill in, here and there. He's a phenomenal pass catching back, but I don't see anybody bringing the complete game like DeMarcus Bowman brings. I mean, he's pretty much almost a clone of Travis Etienne there, explosive runner, quick feet. I love his acceleration, his ability to get to top speed. I mean, he gets to top speed so quickly, and he changes direction without losing speed. To me, it's easily him. I think he's got a much more clear path there. And it's still Marshawn Lloyd. I mean, if it weren't for Kevin Harris, I think it would be a no-brainer for Lloyd. But I think they're not going to be in a hurry to push him back. They'll get him, work him in here and there. But Kevin Harris is going to be in the way, and DeMarcus Bowman's got a clear shot there. So it's Bowman pretty easily for me.
Bruni, are we going to have a dynamic backfield in South Carolina, or are we going to have DeMarcus Bowman blow up in Florida?
I just don't trust Florida. They just don't ever really do a good job of producing running back. So I'm going to go Marshawn Lloyd. I mean, I do think that he is an extremely talented back. I mean, he's got great burst, great strength, obviously coming back from the injury. He suffered at spring practices last year, so I expect him to be healthy and ready to go by the time the season kicks off. And while I do like Kevin Harris, I think he had a really good season. I don't think he's quite as talented as Marshawn Lloyd, and I'm very high on Harris. I think Lloyd is much more talented than him, so I would imagine there's going to be some kind of split backfield there. And if Lloyd gets any kind of touches, I just think he's going to end up being a little bit better than Bowman again, because I just don't trust Florida. With them losing Trask, Pitts, I don't know what that offense is going to look like. I'm all in on Marshawn Lloyd in South Carolina.
Well, in Florida, you got to think that it's going to be a team that's going to focus on the run between Emory Jones and Anthony Richardson. Those guys are going to run the ball. But when's the last time Florida has had a running back that you could really count on? Now, we saw it last year with Kevin Harris. And why couldn't we have a Michael Carter, Javonte Williams situation in South Carolina between Marshawn Lloyd and Kevin Harris? We could. We haven't seen it with Florida, either with Florida producing a productive running back or with DeMarcus Bowman, who we just simply haven't seen yet because he hasn't done it. So if I had to choose, I'm actually going to go with the offense that has produced a productive running back in South Carolina. So I will take Marshawn Lloyd to maybe even bust out splitting time with Kevin Harris. All right, let's move here to another set. Always interesting to talk about the Ohio State players here, especially that wide receiver class. So we've got a couple here, Dwight, and I want to know who is the more valuable C2C roster addition. Now, for folks who are listening to us for the first time, Ohio State had just a dynamic wide receiver class last year that included Julian Fleming, G. Scott, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, all top 10 wide receivers. Also included athlete Mookie Cooper. Mookie Cooper saw the writing on the wall, transferred to Missouri, and now he's projected to start there, but wasn't as highly rated as the other two. So, Dwight, I'm going to throw it to you first. More valuable C2C roster addition, Mookie Cooper, Julian Fleming, or G. Scott?
See, I didn't love Mookie Cooper coming out, but he's got a great opportunity in Missouri there. I think the bigger talent is Julian Fleming, obviously, but C2C wise, I think I'm going to go Mookie on that one. I love Connor Bezelak. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm terrible at last names, so I'm just going to fly by him half the time and just pretend that I know what I'm talking about. Connor Bezelak there in Missouri, I love him as a quarterback. I think he's a guy that's got a pretty bright future ahead of him if he can get smarter, distribute the ball better. And Mookie Cooper is going to help. He's by far the most talented wideout they have. So I think Mookie Cooper as a C2C asset, yes, but I still think Fleming's a better long-term addition. Will see spots or we'll see targets in Ohio State this year. So, but Mookie for C2C.
Burning, what are you going to choose here?
I'm going to go Mookie Cooper as well. I mean, what scoring this year matters. I mean, look, I love G. Scott Jr., and I think he's going to be phenomenal, but we can all admit he's buried on the depth chart as of right now. I do think that he's going to play more this year, obviously, than he was able to last year. But you still got Olave, Jayus, and Garrett Wilson, I think, are the only three ahead of him. I'm not as big on Jameson Williams. Mookie Cooper is the best wide receiver on Missouri, in my opinion, right now. So I do expect him to put up points. I agree with Dwight. I think Connor's going to be able to feed him the ball. And so for C2C, especially for someone who values winning on the college side, that matters. I want him to put up points. I want to get that star wide receiver on a team that has a bad defense and then it's going to likely be throwing the ball a ton. Mookie Cooper likely gets a majority of that. Give me all the points on the college side. I do think he's got NFL upside as well. So you get that NFL upside going into the future as well. So I will take Mookie Cooper and then G. Scott just barely behind him. And Julian Fleming I don't even think deserves to be in this question.
It's unanimous here because I'm going to go with Mookie Cooper also. I mean, he might be the best wide receiver. He might be the best running back there in Missouri. And Missouri is a team that spreads the offense out, is very pass heavy. So I like what he could do there. And he's already getting rave reviews from that program this far. Friend of the show, Alan True, compared him to Curtis Samuel. Coming out of high school in 2018, he ran a 4.49, 4.07 shuttle, 6.5-inch vertical at 193 pounds. This is a compact athlete who could be really, really explosive next year. I mean, he has the body type of an Amari Rodgers, but I have to believe that he's more explosive than Rodgers, and he's in an offense that could take advantage of his strengths. So I'm going with Mookie Cooper also. All right, next question. This is a Michigan question. We're going to throw it to you first here. Dwight, Blake Corum, the Michigan running back, or Seth McGowan, who's competing in a all of a sudden crowded backfield with the addition of Eric Gray in Oklahoma. Who you got?
As far as C2C, it's Corum here. I think he's going to have the best chance to be the lead back, although I do love the back we're going to talk about in the next question. I think Corum's got a good shot. I mean, he has a really good burst speed. He changes directions at really high speeds, good body control. I like his patience. I think he needs to get a chance there. I know that he's probably not going to. We've talked about how Michigan just doesn't know what to do with offensive talent, but I do think Corum has a chance there to be a pretty good running back. Seth McGowan's just going to be mired in this weird timeshare that of all these backs in Oklahoma that now includes Eric Gray. So as far as C2C, I think I'm going to go with Corum here, although I don't really love either of these guys, honestly. And as far as the C2C asset, there's guys I'd much rather have. So.
Dwight, do you like Jalen Berger out of Wisconsin more than these two?
As far as opportunity, definitely yes. I don't like him as a prospect either, as a long term. But I think probably a C2C, he's probably got a better ceiling than both of those guys. So
I feel like I'm on an island with Jalen Berger. Like I like Jalen Berger, how physical he was in high school. We didn't see that necessarily as a freshman, but I think that he could develop into that. And he was an all-purpose back. He can catch the ball. Again, not something we saw last year, but I think that he could develop into that. They just need a wide receiver at Wisconsin. I don't understand what DeMond Demas is doing at Texas A&M. Bruning, who do you got between Blake Corum and Seth McGowan?
Well, I mean, to answer your question, Demas is getting arrested. That's what he's doing at Texas A&M. So I am going to go with Seth McGowan because, surprisingly enough, I actually really like Donovan Edwards and expect him to actually get in a lot of work at Michigan this year and possibly end up taking that starting role, although Jim Harbaugh does usually bring in running backs to kill off their careers. McGowan, I love his contact balance and pass catching is what stands out the most to me for McGowan. And I do think he's going to work in tandem. Obviously, Eric Gray being there is going to kill some of his value this year. But I'm also not that high on Eric Gray as other people are. I like Gray, but I don't think he's like some back that can just relegate McGowan to the bench. And I don't think that necessarily Corum is going to get relegated to the bench by Edwards either. But I think Edwards is so much better than Corum that maybe he gets more playing time. McGowan in that high-flying offense with Oklahoma, they like to rush to the line. There's going to be drives where maybe McGowan's out on the field and they start running a hurry-up offense. Gray's not going to be able to come back on there. McGowan's going to get a lot of catches, I think, in that offense as well. So give me Seth McGowan because I do think as of right now, it also looks like that backfield will be his alone next year once Gray likely goes into the NFL.
I don't know why I include these questions that are so difficult to answer when the answer is probably neither. But if you had to look at the highest upside, I think that it's Corum, given that, I think that he's quite frankly a little more explosive than McGowan. The problem is just every time that you have a player go to Michigan, that is a red flag in and of itself. But I like Blake Corum, and I wish I had ADP value in front of me right now so I could see who is being taken before the other. But I have to believe that probably McGowan would be being taken before Corum. Corum, I mean, because he's Michigan, because that backfield is loaded. I got to think that Corum is a little better of a value. So maybe that's the answer to the question. Bruning, you mentioned Donovan Edwards, and you would think that Jim Harbaugh coming from San Francisco, coming from Stanford, with the offense that they ran at those two programs, that Michigan would be a dominant running team, that they would be a team that could just kind of bully people. That hasn't been the case. You got Donovan Edwards, the second-rated running back in this class, headed to Michigan along with J.J. McCarthy, who I'm very high on as a prospect, but he's going to Michigan. Dwight, if I had to give you the opportunity, you could have Donovan Edwards or any one of the running backs ranked beneath him, L.J. Johnson, Will Shipley, Kamar Wheaton, Amani Goodwin, Evan Pryor, Lavassier Carroll, Trey. So basically, Donovan Edwards or the field behind him. Who are you taking?
Ooh, that's tough. I still think it's the field. That's tough. I mentioned in the show sheet ahead of time that I do love Donovan Edwards quite a bit, but there are a lot of backs in that class that I like as well. So
tell us why you like Edwards. Tell us why you like Edwards.
Yeah, I think he's very versatile. I think he's very close to a total package. He impresses. He's got impressive speed. The agility's there. He runs with power. He's very patient. I love they talk about his ethic and his work commitment. I just think he seems like he's really close to a complete back. So he just unfortunately stuck in Michigan, but I do love a lot about him at 5'11", 190. You think he's easy to add another 20 pounds or so. Actually, I think I got in my notes here that he weighed 203 at an opening event about a year ago. So he might even be bigger than that now. So I think he's really close to a total package. Just has to work on some little things and then hopefully not get stuck with Harbaugh. I mean, hopefully the offense is actually going to use him. It's tough, man. It's tough, but I think I would probably still go the field on that. 2 is a little ambitious, but I like it. Why not?
I mean, that's what 24/7 has him ranked. Bruning, freshman drafts are going to be coming up here soon. Do you have any confidence in drafting Donovan Edwards?
I do. I will say, as you mentioned the ADP earlier, so for those who are not watching live, our current ADP has McGowan at 73 and Corum at 152. So, I mean, especially for you two guys, I would think Corum is by far the better steal there in drafts, getting him that much later than Seth McGowan. I am high on Edwards, but I would also have to say I'd probably take the field too, because I do have a big concern about him going to Michigan. I mean, I do think obviously I said it. I do obviously like the RPO style offense. It looks like they're going to run with J.J. McCarthy again. I just was writing about their battle between Cade McNamara, J.J. McCarthy, and who they just had, Alan Bowman from Texas Tech. And so I think with McCarthy and Edwards together, that can be a very dynamic offense. And as an Ohio State fan, like that actually makes things intriguing to me for that team up north. But I think L.J. Johnson, Kamar Wheaton, with the way some of those guys are going, I think I'd rather take them through. But I do like Edwards a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Kevin jumped in the comments. I changed my mind. I'm going with Edwards, baby. Let's go. Keep it going. You're right, Kevin. Keep the train going. Edwards all day.
Congratulations to Kevin for taking his position with Fantasy Pros, a friend of the show. I think I know me and Austin and I have been on his show. And Kevin's a really good guy. This is the last chance for Harbaugh to put it together. And man, he's probably going to put those hopes and dreams on a freshman quarterback. I got to believe either, McCarthy's probably the best option. So you got to think that they got to win 9-10 games and play close with Ohio State, or it's going to be the end for Jim Harbaugh, and they're going to have to buy out his contract. All right, Dwight, we're going to hit you up with some rapid fire. Are you ready?
Sure, bring it on, man.
So Bruning and I answered these questions on last week's show, so this will just be for you. Texas, do they finish the 2021 season with a top 10 ranking?
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be right there, right at 10. I don't see it much higher than that, but yeah, I think I like Hudson Card a lot in that offense and what they can bring. I love Jake Smith a lot. I think yes. I don't know how rapid you want me to go on this sucker.
Well, talk to me about Jake Smith, because I know that's one of the players that you like. He was highly touted coming out of high school and has been okay at Texas, but tell us what you like.
I think he adds an explosive element to the game that we haven't really seen a lot, and I really would like to. He's the guy that, working with Ray Garvin on the Devy happy hour, he kind of got me turned on to him. I like his size. I think his versatility is not been used enough. His long speed, he's very explosive. Has some things he needed to work on. You'd like to see him mature a little bit, work on his route tree and his play strength, things like that. But I think it's there. The opportunity is there, and he's got a pretty good shot to be like a really savvy receiver there for Hudson Card. So I think Jake's a guy who I'm looking to acquire this year, and one who I've drafted quite a bit in late in my drafts that I've done this far. So.
Well, you got to think that you're going to have Jake Smith playing the slot along with splitting time with Jordan Whittington, the running back wide receiver hybrid there. And then Joshua Moore on the outside, probably at the Z, stretching the defense. And then Troy O'Meary, the redshirt freshman wide receiver, playing the X, taking the spot held by Brennan Eagles last year. I've just written a profile on burntorange.com on Troy O'Meary, so go check that out. Let's stay here with Texas. Dwight, Hudson Card, and Steve Sarkisian. They lead Texas to a playoff, so that has to be the next 3 years. Playoff coming for the Longhorns?
I think so. I really like Sark a lot. I think he's going to bring a swagger back to that program. It seems to be kind of what they've been missing. They've had the highly recruited, the high-ranked recruiting classes. They've brought in some good players, but they just seem to have lacked an identity. And I think Sark's going to bring it to him. I love Hudson Card a lot. I think he's the guy to get that done. It will probably be the third year. It's not going to be right away. But Bijan Robinson, we mentioned the wide receivers. The guy, it's going to be close, man. But I think he can. I really like I like Sark in that offense and that team. So I think he brings them an identity that they've been missing. So.
It's really going to be interesting to see if Texas can become a magnet for recruiting in the state of Texas, because if they could just hold the talent from that state there, they're going to be a force at least in the Big 12 and compete with Oklahoma. All right, Rondell Moore or Jamar Chase?
That's not fair. It's Chase, man. Chase by a mile. We just forgot. I mean,
excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
Bring it on, Felix. Anyways, we have forgotten how damn good Jamar Chase was, man. Like, I've sat back and watched people just shred him for the last 6 months, and I'm like, it drives me nuts, man. So I think it's Chase by a mile.
We have forgotten how good Rondell Moore is. It's been
since
since 2018. So, all right. This is your segment. Let me throw it back to you. In 2021, the best quarterback in the Big Ten is
Anthony Russo, baby.
Michigan State Spartans. Dwight, Eaton Rapids stand up. Tank Bigsby or Jahmyr Gibbs?
I'm going to go Gibbs just because I think he's a better pass catcher, a little bit better at everything. Although I like my personal favorite is Bigsby. I love a guy that just runs over people, and he has the name Tank, so he's like my personal favorite, but I think Gibbs is a better player. So.
The 2021 national champion is
I don't know. Probably Alabama. It's I don't know. It sucks because it's going to be either Alabama, Clemson, or Ohio State. I mean, it's.
I didn't even put Ohio State in there. I
somebody would
that,
come
right?
out of the woodwork.
It's not going to be Ohio State. It's
no,
not going to be Ohio
not.
State.
I agree. It won't be.
I think they'll have a little bit of quarterback, finding their way this year. So Alabama could too. So, man, I don't know. Let's go Clemson for my final answer.
And the question that determines whether or not you get invited back is Justin Fields or Zach Wilson.
You guys suck. It's Fields. It's always been Fields. It's always been Fields.
What is up with these answers this evening?
I love Zach Wilson. I've been on him for quite a while, but it's Justin Fields. So.
Dwight, I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight. Dwight is the host of the Devy Manual. You're the Devy team lead for Dynasty Nerds now, right?
C2C team lead. Devy team lead is Matt McCoy. Yeah. So we kind of work hand in hand to do a little bit of everything over there. So,
Dwight, anything else that you want to promo?
Not really, man. Just got some rookie profiles, trying to get back to adding some more rookie videos or some more prospect cut-ups on my Devy Manual YouTube channel, but it's been kind of quiet for a little while. So, life just sometimes catches up with you, and you kind of have to take a back seat, and I haven't been able to break down videos and things. So, which is funny because I'll sit here sometimes and watch huddle videos for 3 hours when I could be just cutting up videos, but I'll space out and just watch, grainy high school videos of, whoever I come across, dart one direction. So, yeah. So,
well, catch Dwight's 2021 rookie profile on defensive end Jalen Phillips on Dynasty Nerds. But that is going to be our show for tonight. You can find our written content at campus2canton.com. Follow the show at Devy Debate. Apologies to Kirk Herbstreit. We went a little long with the Dwight. We ran out of time, but we'll get him rescheduled soon. For Matt Bruning, for Dwight Peebles, and I'm Felix Sharp. Good night and good luck.
All right.
Oh, dang it.
I know. I really wanted to hear.
I forget. Well, we can ask him. I mean, we're after show now. I forgot. I need to pay attention to the private chat. I just sometimes I just spaced out, especially tonight.
I don't ever watch it either. I'm surprised they even saw that you said that rapid fire thing on there because I don't ever watch the chat board.
Who do you got between those two, Dwight? Strong or Corral? If you had to pick one, I know you like both.
I take Strong. I do like him quite a bit. I think he's a little more polished.
He's safer. Yeah.
Yeah, safer. Yeah. Corral he is so much fun to watch though. I love that. I love a good gunslinger, man. Like that's one thing when I'm watching quarterbacks, that'll suck me in a heartbeat, man. I love watching a guy just flinging it all over the place. And that's
I think next year we're going to get Rattler and Howell in the first round and either have no quarterbacks after them or it's going to be Strong and Corral, Carson Strong and Corral in the first round. I just don't see Jaden Daniels being a first round draft pick. He's too small. And I don't see Keaton Slovis being a first round draft pick. And I'm sorry, Bruning, I definitely don't see Desmond Ridder being a first round draft pick. So I think it's going to be either those two, and then we get no other, maybe some day two picks, but
so about Peyton Manning. I mean Graham Mertz. Sorry,
Graham Mertz is not coming out next year. Graham Mertz is not coming out this year. We got to get him some. We got to get him some weapons, man. They got like 1 3-star wide receiver going to Wisconsin, and I mean that's it. You look at Wisconsin's recruiting class, and like their top 4 players are offensive linemen. I mean, God, get this dude just get him one weapon to spread the defense out a little bit. So.
Yeah, it'd be nice, man. It's one of the things that is maddening. Like, because Wisconsin's, my daughter went there, so it's kind of a team I followed real closely. And it's maddening to watch that offense. It is. When Mertz went there, I'm like, man, why? Why would you go there? Like, why go somewhere where they have like an offense that is at least 2005? Like, come on, like it's ugly. I can't. It's hard to watch their games, man. Really hard.
What's your problem with Jalen Berger?
I don't know. It just doesn't. To me, it just doesn't pop. Like I don't see it. Like I think he's a good running back. Just not all there. I don't. You see.
I think that he came in after Jonathan Taylor, and Jonathan Taylor was what he was. As a freshman. I really like Berger. His all-purpose skill set, and I think that he's going to be a physical runner. He's going to put on some additional weight, and he can catch the ball. He can catch the damn ball. I think he's a better pass catcher than Taylor was at Wisconsin. So I like Berger, but there are a couple of players that I bring up, and everybody wants to poo-poo them, whether it be Casey Thompson or Graham Mertz, or I was listening to Austin and Colin talk on the podcast today, and they said he's not. They're talking about Jake Haener, that he's not an NFL quarterback.
I heard that too. I was like, dang, that's cool.
I know. I'm just like, dang, like I'm just hate.
You know what it is, Felix? If he was in the 2022 class, I think I would probably be a lot higher on him. Berger. That 2023 class is so damn good.
Yeah, it is.
And I have him at 9.
It is.
I have him at 9.
But he's one of them. No, he's one. I think that he's one. I mean, it's a really strong class. But I like him individually as a prospect, in C2C and as a Devy asset too. So we'll see. Any other players that you're like, I don't know, sleepers or something that you're relatively high on?
Let me see. Shoot, man, I had a list down, and I had mentioned Anthony Russo, and he's a guy who I half joke. I mean, he's got a lot of things that I like about him. I went back and watched some of them today. He's got.
You don't think it's going to be Thorne? You don't think it's going to be Thorne?
It could be because I was fairly impressed with him last year too. When they got Russo, I was like, huh? Like I thought we were gonna roll with Thorne, but maybe they want to give him a little more time to develop because he did look pretty raw at times. So Russo's got a lot to like about him, but he's not the most mobile guy in the world, and he's very inconsistent. 12 turnovers. His sophomore year or redshirt sophomore, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it's just there's things that I like about him. I love his arm. I think he's got good anticipation when he throws. At times he looks like he could be a really good quarterback, and at times he's just kind of So see what Mel Tucker can do with him there. He's got some really good receivers there. So I love Michigan State's team offense. I just want to see we're definitely not there yet, but I think we're building in the right direction again. So.
Nah, Austin, I appreciate you guys just spitting straight facts. Don't worry about Felix getting all upset.
I mean, they just went on there and just tore it like he's not.
Like
he doesn't have it. I tried to say that he's not a day one quarterback, but I think that he could be.
I think Austin is saying that he's not a day 1, 2, or 3 quarterback. That's kind of what I'm gathering. That is what he said. But
I was listening to him while I was making dinner.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dwight. I like Russo. A lot of people, I don't think, realize he was up there with Zach Wilson and Mac Jones most of the season, deep ball completion percentage and everything at Temple of all places. And so I do think him going to Michigan State, like I said, him and Kenneth Walker, I thought when both those guys entered the transfer portal. Did you get my text, by the way, Felix? Look at your phone. Austin, I hate you. I hate you, Austin. I think both of them landing there is. I think it's going to be fun for Michigan State. I really like what they're building there right now.
It is, but I wish it would have been next year or the year after because I think we're not quite there. We got a lot of work to do on the offensive line. Our defense used to be really good, and it's just we haven't been recruiting well there. So it's going to be a tough uphill climb. So maybe they'll spark us to, 5-6 or 6-6, whatever, which would be good. I'd be happy with that. But then they're going to leave. So
yeah. Well, I can see Walker possibly. Well, no, that 23 class is super, super deep. So I was trying to say, if Walker comes out and still has a decent season, but not a great season, I could see him possibly coming back for one more. But
yeah, if he's getting a UDA grade or a UDFA grade, then he might as well come back. And get a degree, I guess. So, yeah.
To answer the question here, is taking Carson Strong in the second round too early? Yes. So his ADP right now is 57. So I would wait till at least the 4th round. I mean, if you really want to make sure you're going to get him, grab 3 good players and running backs or wide receivers, and then grab Carson Strong in the 4th. That would be kind of my strategy there. I wouldn't reach for him in the 2nd.
Right.
It's the top 4, and then there's a wide gap at the quarterback position. There's DJ, Howell, Rattler, and Young, and then after that, you can wait.
Yeah, all the ones I've seen. It's a pretty huge chasm there between the those 4 go in the top 10 picks, and then usually not another one until the 3rd round. So.
Who you picking to win the Big Ten? Because I think it's wide open this year.
Yeah, it's.
I think I'm going to take. I think I'm going to take Maryland.
Maryland could make some noise. Yeah.
I always thought that Maryland was going to rock the boat. I think that they'll be competitive with Ohio State. I think that they'll win 9 or 10 games. But when I think about who could actually win it, I mean, if Maryland beats Ohio State, then they could win it.
Yeah.
So, but that Maryland game is on the road in Ohio.
Yeah, I think it is pretty wide open, but it just depends if Ohio State settles in and gets a good if their quarterback settles in right away. I mean, it's Ohio State.
Oh, they've already got a great quarterback.
They have several, but and I really enjoyed you guys' interview. That was great. I have reached out to about 200 players in the last 2 years for interviews and have not gotten a single even callback. So the fact that you guys got somebody, I'm like, dude, that's awesome. I have reached out to so many, and I'm like, this is I gave up.
Oh, I do too. I've reached out to a ton of guys as well. It just that just kind of came together and very quickly too. Just the way that it came together was kind of like it just happened, and it's just like Raymond Davis last year when I had him on. It was just one of those things where like we started talking and we started DMing each other, and then I was just like, "Fuck it." I'm like, "Would you want to come on the show?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." It's like, "Okay, cool. So come on then." And so yeah, it's just one of those things where it just kind of happened.
Yeah, I would love to interview somebody. I got John Navarre actually agreed to an interview because he works for the company I work for. He works at the Bolingbrook, Chicago branch, and I talk to him like twice a week some weeks. So I was like, "Hey, John, you want to come on my pod sometime and we'll just talk football?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" I'm like, "Okay," and I just never really followed through. I was trying to find a good time to fit him in. I wanted to talk to him last year about like the COVID, like would he play? Like what did he think of it all? And then it just kind of scheduling never really worked out. So
I can't really remember who his weapons were. I'm going to look that up right now.
I really should go down that path because the guy who owns the company I work for is like he has a field house for him at U of M, and we always have like Bo Schembechler, whatever, used to stop by our plant. Harbaugh comes around every once in a while. I really should be like, "Hey, Al, can you give me a connection? Like somebody, I can get in with, I don't want to interview Harbaugh. I don't need that, just a player. Doesn't even have to really even be a star, like just a player, like kind of just, it'd be fun to just talk with a guy like that. So I liked you guys' interview. It was very relaxed and fun. I like that you guys gave him a little bit of flack about the Michigan and stuff. That was fun. You don't see that type of stuff in interviews, so it's kind of different.
Chris Perry, wow, that's a blast from the past. Chris Perry, Bengals first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
Steve Breston was on that team. Braylon Edwards, man, Detroit stand up. Braylon Edwards is on that team.
Tom Brady was too, wasn't he?
No, Tom Brady. Tom Brady was drafted in like 2000. So this is 2003.
I think Navarre
that's crazy that they're that close.
I think Navarre was a freshman then. Brady's last year.
In 2003, Navarre was a senior, and he started. He completed 59% of his passes with 24 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. You had Steve Breston, Jason Avant, Braylon Edwards on that team. Now who led the league team in receiving? Well, Braylon did.
I'm pretty sure that Navarre is still the passing yards in a season leader at Michigan, like of record holder. I'm pretty sure he is.
It's not Henny.
I'm pretty sure. Maybe you might be right. Maybe Tandy broke it. That's where
that was actually a really good team with Chris Perry and Braylon Edwards. I remember playing with this team and just being frustrated on NCAA football and just being frustrated with John. I'm sorry, John, but on the NCAA football game, we needed we would always play with Marcus Vick out of Virginia Tech because he could run. We'd play with Troy Smith, unfortunately, for Ohio State.
Yeah, that's what
Pat
I meant.
White.
Henny's the career. Okay. Henny's the career leader, but Navarre is the single season. Yeah.
How many touchdowns?
This was just single season passing. He's at 3,331 during 2003.
Oh, yards. Okay.
Yeah. So he that's what his record is.
I'm looking at that. Yeah, I'm looking at that. That's not a lot of passing yards in today's.
That's not, man. That shows you how bad. That's never been a Michigan thing, man. Like. Ugh.
No, especially when Denard Robinson is your quarterback, and man, he could not throw. You know who I really liked, and I thought. Well, I mean, I know you're a State fan, but we can talk about State. But I really like Tate Forcier. I don't remember if you remember Tate Forcier, but he was, really a mobile player. But no, I think my favorite Mid-State quarterback. I mean, it has to be Jeff Smoker, right? Jeff Smoker has to be the answer.
I like Jeff Smoker. Yeah, he was. I'm not like a lot of Michigan State fans. Just vehemently hate Michigan. I'm like they're still my home state. Like I don't hate them. I don't ever want them to win against us. Right. I hate Ohio State, but like everybody hates Ohio State. So yeah.
So I was in Lansing from 2009 through 2015, and that was is it Mark? Yeah, Mark D'Antonio. That's when Mark D'Antonio was the coach, And I just loved the way they played defense because they would play their safeties like everybody. Essentially, they were in zero coverage the whole time.
Yeah.
Like their safeties would be like 7 yards off the line of scrimmage, and that's when they had Trey Waynes and Darqueze Dennard, and I can't remember. And they had really good defensive linemen. And a dude who got drafted by Tampa Bay, I can't remember his name, like a Golston, one of the Golston brothers was on that defensive line.
Shirley Calhoun.
Yes.
That was like the no-fly zone. That was the height of it, man. That was a damn good defense.
I think Johnny Adams was like the third corner on that team. Right. And they would play press man at the line of scrimmage, and they just did not care. Like they were pressing you and being physical the whole game. And I could have swore that Darqueze Dennard was going to be the next Peanut Tillman because he forced fumbles, and the thing that he was so good at was he would be guarding somebody, and the wide receiver would get their hands on the ball and catch it and start to bring it in, and he would punch it out. Like you just couldn't, he wouldn't let anybody bring the ball in. And I just thought that guy was going to be a lockdown corner. And it was like 3-4 years into his career with the Bengals. And I'm like, no, Darqueze Dennard, he's going to be a lockdown corner. And he just never really materialized. And then Trey Waynes is the one who, Trey Waynes was not the best player on that defense at Michigan State. It was definitely Darqueze. So.
And Dennard had the double whammy. He came from Michigan State, so he was already doomed. And then he went to the Bengals, which is like doubly doomed. So, yeah, he was kind of doomed from the get-go. So, we have not had State has not had a very good track history of producing in the NFL. I mean, we've had some good quarterbacks, with Cousins and obviously Le'Veon Bell and stuff, but it's been rough, man. It's been a lot of guys who have been.
I like those teams with some of those Mark D'Antonio defensive teams. I mean, they weren't the sexiest teams, offensively, even with Le'Veon Bell and Javon Ringer. And I remember I used to talk to like Javon Ringer's girlfriend. Or I tried to, I should say.
Felix is all getting up. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just hated the way he ran the off. Like they ran the ball way too much. Every first down was a run. You could set your clock to it. Yeah, they were so predictable. They were so good on defense and so boring on offense. It just, I did not like that.
We used to sit there in the stands and be like, here comes a run. Here comes another run. We just knew it was coming. Like it was like we could call it. It was no imagination to it at all.
You sit with any state employee. Do you have season tickets for the Spartans?
No.
No? Oh, okay. All right. I've got some.
Nope.
Yeah, I worked for the state of Michigan, and yes, there's one guy that I know that had season tickets for the Spartans back then. So it's weird. You live in Michigan your whole life, and you walk into a store, you always see Michigan and Michigan State colors when you go to Meijer, But then when you come, I'm here in Kentucky now, and you walk in and you just see blue and white for UK and red for Kentucky, or for U of L, excuse me. And so
it's pretty strange, man. Let's see. Felix, I need to ask you this, man. How in the hell, where do you get that article you wrote about Troy Amir? How do you get all that information? Do you interview people? You just I want to write deeper articles like that. It was I was reading it and I was just thoroughly impressed with the detail and what you came up with. I get a little bit of that. When I usually will search. Very wide for some a couple little tidbits throw in my articles. I don't ever write anything that deep, but I'd love to. I think that it was just really colorful and really descriptive. I really enjoy that, and I want to write like that. So.
Well, yes, I do just call him and ask him, and I say who I am and what I'm doing, and I think that there's a reason why they'll talk to you. I don't want to say that on the air. I'll tell you that off air, but yeah, I will just call them. Start with one person and say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. Do you mind if I talk to you?" And I'm going to. Are you on our Discord? I
need to check with you guys on that because
Well,
I can't figure out how to do it.
Okay.
Because you guys mentioned the tournament. I'm like, I want in.
I'll invite you. You're in the program one. So because that happened with one of the other guys too, Sal. He couldn't get in there as well, and then I just invited him through Discord because I'm in another one with him. So let me see.
Because I went to the Campus to Canton site, and it says on the bottom right or whatever, join Discord or something, and I tried it, and it just didn't go there.
Let me see here. Yeah, I know that
because I wanted to get into the bracket thingy. I don't know. I like to do brackets. Pretend like I know what I'm talking about.
I know. I'm still messing with mine right now. I went all homerish at first and put Ohio State as a winner, and then I went back in and started changing it. I think they can get I think they get to the Elite Eight, but I don't know, man. That Big Ten is so good this year. That whole Big Ten conference is. Like, I honestly think I hope it goes the way that I have it right now, and I'm still trying to decide who I think makes it. Right now, my Final Four is Gonzaga, Michigan, and Illinois, Ohio State, and I think Michigan could beat Gonzaga. Michigan's good. And I hate saying that, but they are good.
I think the only bracket I've done so far, I had Baylor winning it all. But
yeah, they're good too. They're an Ohio State side. I don't know. I'm just torn between picking them to win or not. Why can't I find you?
I have State winning a couple because Izzo always, but I just don't think they got the gas to go too far.
Oh, that's why
I cannot watch college basketball. So. When I was back in Michigan, my friend Jason and I, we would take off the second half of work the first day of the tournament, and we would just go to Buffalo Wild Wings from like noon until like 8 o'clock at night. And usually we would focus it around whenever Michigan State played. I actually missed doing that. That was fun. But I just never I cannot get into college basketball. I keep trying. I can't.
That's the only basketball I can watch. Yeah.
I only really get into it for really big games and then the tournament. The same thing with NBA. Like NBA, once playoffs come around, I'll get all in. I can't watch many games during the regular season. I believe I just sent you 2 invites on Discord there, Dwight. So you should be
what I was going to say, Dwight, is you will hear I interviewed those people, and I'm going to release the interviews, the recorded interviews to the folks on our Discord. So you'll hear, my conversations with them. So,
yeah, usually what I do in the tournament time is I'll just kind of bounce around and wait till a game gets down to the last 2 minutes, then I'll lock in and watch the last couple minutes because it's always fun when it's a tight game watching, the chess match and stuff. So last 2 minutes which takes 35, 40 minutes, that. So that's fun though, and when just being there watching that big guy drop to the little Loyola whatever heck it's always just fun. It's something you remember. It's exciting.
I can't wait until we get some new information with spring games and Lavassier Carroll is apparently playing defense and not the Georgia running back. I mean, he's playing. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm tagged with Adam Lewis and some of the guys from Devy Watch. We're talking about Carroll is playing safety. That's great. Because that backfield is so loaded. That would be why.
Huh.
Well, that's interesting.
Wow.
I guess
that's crazy.
Oh, Adam Lewis says that he's trying to pick a fight. He's saying Vandegrift isn't good.
I mean, spot the lie in that statement.
Well, he did go to Georgia, so yeah.
Yeah, he was committed to Oklahoma. That's who Lincoln Riley wanted at
right.
first. So
yeah, well, he also wanted Caleb Williams. So I'm doubting his love for quarterbacks at the moment.
Then he realized that Oklahoma only wants really good quarterbacks, so he's like, "Oh, let's go to Georgia. They think I'm good, so it's all right. I can start
crazy.
I can start for 4 years and make a bunch of other 5 stars transfer.
That's going to be crazy if he turns Caleb Williams into an elite passer because I just don't see it.
Well, he did for. Well, he did
Dwight,
for
you didn't
Jalen
wear your hat. He did for Jalen Hurts. That's true. He did. I had planned to go get a hat and all that stuff, and I just ran out of time with the kids and all that stuff. I was just like, I wanted to have a green shirt. I wanted to have a hat. I wanted to talk in an Irish accent up at the top of the show. So
I love that. I love that intro, man. I listen to that song like 10 times a day. So yeah, it's one of my favorites.
I think Drake May is a pocket.
I love Dropkick Murphys.
Anybody got to talk on Jay's question? I like Drake May. He's a drop back passer, but I like more what they're doing at North Carolina. So I just kind of trust what Mac Brown is doing there and that they'll get it right. I mean, they've developed one quarterback. Why can't they develop? And Drake May is he's a 4-star. Well, the only 5-star prospects were Caleb Williams.
Yeah, McCord was the last one.
McCord was a 5-star. Okay, I don't think May was, but he's still a highly touted prospect. And I just believe in what Mac Brown is doing there.
97.25. Yeah, I'm with you. I like May a lot. I mean, I talked about a couple episodes ago. I think Gavin Blackwell there is going to take a big step forward this year. I think he's going to be a huge part of that offense moving forward. They also, which I didn't know, I think they got Daz Newsome's brother there.
Oh, really?
Or is it who's the other one? But I can't think of.
Dame Brown?
Maybe it was Brown's brother. One of their brothers also is there now that's supposedly going to step up this year too, someone was saying. So, yeah, I like what they're doing there. I mean, I think Kamaro Edmonds is going to be a good running back as well moving forward. I think they've got it's Diame's brother. Okay, cool. Yeah, I knew it was one of theirs. I couldn't remember which one it was, but I think Gavin Blackwell, who's a freshman this year as well, is going to be good. Austin, go away.
I like Austin.
I'm still mad at you, Austin. What? I like it. You're like, I'm gonna go to bed, and then you're still in here commenting on it.
And then he's still in the comments.
Just come and join the show. No, but I like Kamaro Edmonds, Gavin Blackwell, and like Felix. I'm curious to see. I think this is their year to really do something in the ACC. I mean, I still love DJU, but I think if they're ever going to try and topple Clemson, it's going to have to be this year.
Yep. Who's playing quarterback for Clemson? I like Taj Washington. Taj Washington is at Memphis. Who's the wide receiver at Syracuse who stretches the defense? It's Taj something. And obviously, I like Sean Tucker. We got Francis to say last week that they misranked.
I like that.
Sean Tucker.
They misranked Tucker. Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, it's not. I don't think that's that big of a thing. I mean, you misrank players all the time, so it happens. That's what there's 6 of us.
Close.
I mean, I think I know. So Austin, you're
Taj,
there, correct?
Taj Harris, not Taj Washington. Taj Harris. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he redid all of his quarterback rankings. I redid mine the other day. I think Monday. I moved your boy up, but I didn't move him up that high.
You moved who up?
Hayner up. He's not at 90 for me anymore.
What is he at?
I'm trying to pull it up. It's not loading up.
Is he at 24? I tried to. So Dwight, we have the spreadsheet that we keep our rankings on. I cannot.
Right.
It would take me 2 hours to put in like 30 players. It would take me that long to put in 30 players in a spreadsheet. I just can't. As a matter of fact, this is a true story. I got fired from a job where like the main thing was putting numbers in a spreadsheet. In Mattawan, Michigan, there is an animal testing facility, and I was in the administrative. It was a temp job, like it was like right out of. I might have been in high school, and they were just like, "No, you're too slow, and none of these are right." So, what is the name of that place? I wish I had. Well, maybe when we get a bigger audience, somebody will tell me what the name of the animal testing facility is in Mattawan, Michigan.
So I don't know if Colin redid his recently or not, but we both have him at 68. You're welcome. That's probably as high as he's going to go.
I almost said 69, and I would have been really close.
Yeah, I'm not moving it much higher than that. I don't think.
Ranking is tough.
Where did Austin put him? Austin put him at 66. So I mean, it's just you and Alfred, which again, I think speaks volumes. Both of you're together on a lot of rankings.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll need your help.
That's fine. Just saying. Listen, I'm working on mine now. I've actually have my RBs done. I just need to put them in there. I found it's easier to just delete everything and just copy paste it than go through and enter each number on there. So,
Bruning, regarding your text message,
yeah,
I think I know what happened, and I would go knock on the door right now if it wasn't so late. That I think.
No, you're good. If you can, let me know before so I always get the time zone mixed up before 4:00 your time. Because my wife goes in at 3 and she can call to get it retrieved. So just let me know.
And I'm going to talk to you after we go off here so I can be clear about what they're saying happened. So Austin is just our biggest fan today.
No, I see that's where I struggle with ranking.
He's going to have 2 good years. Why?
Think he goes back for one more year? Because I do value the college side, like we've talked about, and winning on the college side. But at the same time, I want a guy I know you don't like Wills, but I still think Wills has some NFL potential. Like Carson Strong, a guy I know a lot of people are saying, hey, don't reach for quarterback that early. I'm fine taking a guy like Carson Strong in the 4th round because I do think he gives you that 1 year of college production. I think he has an NFL future. Jake Haener, yes, with the ADP that you guys talked about on the rankings episode, it makes sense grabbing him late because he's going to put up a ton of points for you, but he's not a guy that I want to take early or anywhere. It's just, I don't know. And in drafts I have with you and him, you're going to reach for him in the 8th round, so I don't have to worry about it. But it's just I want guys that I reach for him for
the 8th round. So I was talking to a long time listener, Mr. Jokey Jokes today. I was talking
sleep deprived.
Somebody on Twitter who said they got Jake Haener in round 43. I don't have to he has a non-existent ADP. I don't have to take first. I can get value anywhere, but that's kind of my point. Is that last year, you know who I was getting at the end of in the 40 whatever round? Carson Strong. That's who I was getting. Well, Zach Wilson was really late too. So I don't need to Jake. They said that on the pod too, Austin, since you're listening, that I was going to take Jake Haener in the 8th round. No, I'm not taking Jake Haener in the 8th round because I don't need to.
Well, if you followed your ranking,
no, I don't need to. I've got Rondale Moore ranked as my number 1 wide receiver, but if I had the 5th pick, I could take Jamar Chase and say, all right, I'm going to get Rondale at 8. I have a draft where I might even try that, where I have the 5th pick and I have 13, where I might just try to take Jamar Chase early and then get Rondale Moore. It's about value. Colin said
throwing Colin under the bus because Colin's not watching. That's what he does, is shaming him for being a little on a thick side in middle school, I guess. And Austin. So
how do you think? Colin. Do you think we could ever get on Why Wait Till Sunday?
Us?
Yeah.
I don't see why not. We're not big enough guests for Alfred, I don't think, but
I don't think we are either.
Technically, we were on an episode. He uploaded it and put it on there, so
it was forced. It
wasn't live.
It was the force. I meant to say in that show. I meant to say this is the only way that any of us could get on Why Wait Till Sunday, but I forgot to. So.
We had to wait for Austin to be non-existent on Camps to Canton just to get an appearance on there. And yet we've been so invited. We're like, Colin, anytime, come on, jump on. And nah, Austin can, I guess if one of you guys wants to jump on, we'd appreciate it.
That was fun too.
Going on. I still hate that they cut that episode up because now it's going to look like all of our stuff and all the shit that I called right is just going to look like after the fact.
Yeah, because you got Hunter Henry and Johnny Smith right?
Yeah. I said both of them to New England, and then there they go, and I'm like, oh great. And then they're gonna say that Austin's gonna record some little thing like they did technically say this, and nobody's gonna believe that now. They're gonna think we went and recorded it after the fact. That's all.
He said, was Jarek? Jarek was the first guest on Campus to Canton, I think.
Yeah, it makes sense. You know what? Good point, Austin. I'll bow down to Jarek. Dude's a genius. So
Yeah,
I
he
can't
is.
hate on him being the first guest on there.
I'm gonna try to make my own model, my own data model.
Good luck with that, buddy. Good luck with that.
If you hate spreadsheets, that's
I'm pretty sure he does everything through spreadsheets. So
yeah, I wish I could do that. As much as I love like statistics and everything like that, I wish I could come up with the mind to come up with that stuff. It blows my mind. The stuff. Yeah.
It's just some people have strengths and different strengths and weaknesses. I wouldn't even know the first button to press to make something like what he made. So, and then his dad helped too, because we were having problems early on, and his dad came and helped like fix some of the problems. So it's,
right.
He's gotten that from his dad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm struggling. Dwight was DMing me. I was struggling to figure out that OBS stuff yesterday. There ain't no way in hell I'm going to build some app like Jared did. There ain't no way that's happening.
Yeah. My first couple weeks in video editing were, I still am learning a lot, and I'm learning a lot in the spreadsheets too. I'm putting together like a mock spreadsheet draft, thing. And it's a lot of me going back and, trying to figure out why this is pulling here, why this is doing that, asking so-and-so, asking this, asking everybody I can think of, like, what did I do wrong? I've watched these YouTube videos, this and that, it's crazy, but I want to learn too. It's kind of fun.
Yep.
But
that's what I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'll finally get time to just sit down. I'm going to mess with that for like 4 or 5 hours, see if I think I've got some of it down, but there's so much other stuff I know you can do with it that I want to learn how to do. And because I don't want to like go live with that and it not look professional. So I'm trying to figure out all that stuff first, but it's definitely fun. I think my problem was I went to, I don't know if you know, have you heard of or tried Streamlabs?
I haven't heard of it.
So like that's the first one that I went to because I guess so much of that stuff is so customizable. Oh my God, I was so lost. It was like someone was speaking. They were like speaking Chinese to me. I was like, I don't understand anything. Like OBS is at least a little bit easier to try and figure out. Yeah, I was trying to do that Streamlabs stuff. I was like, this is not going to happen, guys. And then I text. Who did I text? Oh, one of my friends who does a lot of streaming on Twitch, and he said that he uses OBS, and I knew Jared used that too. And so I did that, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's kind of why I did that stupid video that Mortal Kombat thing with Javante Williams and Michael Carter. I just want to see what I could do, like splicing stuff together and music, and I just wanted to see what I could do, and just it was kind of fun. It was very interesting. I'd like to do a little bit more.
Dwight, let me ask you a question. Hold on.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Starbucks or Bigby? Starbucks or Bigby? Excuse me.
It's Beaners. It's always Beaners.
It's not it. No, it's not.
No, it's Big B now because somebody complained. Yeah. Because Beaners is not sensitive to,
I was like, wait, does the name change one way or the okay?
Yeah, it was Beaners forever. Like I have trouble still calling it Big B. It's Big B by far. Like I love Big B, man. I'm not a big Starbucks fan. A little too much sugar.
There's this, if there's anybody still watching, is it just a Michigan chain? I think it's just a Michigan chain.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, a bit called Big B Coffee. And like every drink is like a dessert, like the best dessert that you've ever had. At least what I get. Like I always get the caramel marvel.
Yeah, that's what I get too. Yeah.
Yeah, which is it just really is really good. So
it's the only way I can drink coffee to totally disguise it like it's not coffee, pretty much, with sugar and everything on it.
I would open a franchise down here.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. It's not quite as expensive as Starbucks. So
I'm trying to think what other Michigan questions. Have you ever been to any of the Detroit Coney Islands? Have you been to either one, American or National?
Probably. I don't get to.
They're
I don't
right
get to
next
that
to
area
each other.
Yeah, I don't get to that area a whole lot. So
let's see.
We don't go to Detroit very much. Usually, when we go to Detroit, we go to Greektown. Catch a Red Wings game. And stuff like that. I don't do a whole lot in Detroit. I haven't even been. I've been to Ford Field once.
Mm-hmm.
It was all right. I saw a concert there and I saw a football game there. So I don't get to Detroit a whole lot. It's just too many people, too much traffic. I don't know. I try to avoid big cities these days. Like even before COVID, even I just don't enjoy being in big cities like I used to. So.
Are you going to the expo?
Yep, absolutely. I just booked my Airbnb today. I rented a 4-bedroom house.
I know I need to too. I've been so behind on trying to get that done.
I have not gotten any of my rooms filled yet. So if you guys want to,
I'll just hold on. How far is Canton from? I'm just going to drive from my grandmother's house.
I'm dead serious. Let me know. It'd be $100 for a couple nights. I paid $4 something for 3 nights.
It's just one night, right? Isn't it? I thought the expo was one night.
But they do a lot of different stuff. So they do stuff Friday night, Saturday night. The expo is Sunday, and then they do a big party Sunday night too. Like I think Friday night they do a big thing where everybody goes downtown, does like bar hopping stuff. Then Saturday I think is King's Expo. Is that right, Dwight? Where it's like a massive fantasy draft with a bunch of the bigger name people. And then Sunday.
Why did you tell me this?
Yeah. Everybody hangs out at the Hall of Fame on Saturday.
This is the first. We've talked about the expo. This is the first time I'm hearing that it's an all weekend thing.
Let's be honest here. We didn't really talk. Like I kept pushing you guys, like, hey, if we want to do this, and we've always seemed to always talk about this on Wednesdays. Whereas like that's my busiest work day. Like I'm nonstop moving from 4 a.m. to like 3 p.m, and it's one of those days where I don't get a lot of time to sit and chat. And so I didn't really think about it, but yeah, it's a thought. Like I don't think I'll be there Friday. Because my wife won't be able to get off. I don't think at the moment be able to get off work. And she works till midnight. So there's no way that we'd be able to fly out. But I think we're going to fly up Saturday morning and then probably come back sometime Monday is what we're planning on doing at the moment.
I thought that I was just going to be there on Sunday for a couple of hours. I didn't realize that it was an all weekend thing.
That's what I'm doing. I might go Friday night, but I might probably go Saturday morning. Right now I got the
Jared's house.
I rented my own. I rented a house. It's literally you can walk out the front door and across the field and you're at the Hall of Fame. It's like so freaking close. It's got like a huge basement with a foosball table and TVs and it's got a hot tub. I'm like, yeah, screw it.
Dwight, I might take you up on that offer because my partner here did not tell me that it was an all weekend thing. He just said we need to do a thing on a Sunday, and I'm like, okay. I was not informed.
I think the full weekend.
Like the expo is a whole weekend thing, man. It's a whole weekend thing.
Whatever.
If you look at I think the full weekend pass gets you into the Hall of Fame, which is like a $30 ticket anyways. It gets you to the hotel party Saturday night. It gets you into the expo Sunday. What? It gets you something else.
It's a hotel party.
And a t-shirt.
Yeah. They have parties every single night. We're in it. The thing that I told you to pay for, that's what all that includes. We're in we have all the extra stuff.
Okay, yeah.
That is going to be a sausage fest. I mean, it is going to be a massive sausage fest.
But it's everybody you know and talk to. It's so much fun, man. I went a couple years ago.
The sausage fest sauce? That's
you guys doing a pod? We are definitely doing a pod from there. Or several pods. We're just going to be podcasting the entire time.
I mean, we can. So 2 years ago, when I was supposed to be there, did you go 2 years ago, Dwight?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, and I don't know how much they changed it from then, but 2 years ago, you actually did the thing that we paid for the 30-minute speaking engagement thing. That's what it was 2 years ago. You podcasted live on stage in front of everybody. I don't know if that's what they're having you do this year. Like we're doing the thing, but it's only 30 minutes. So if we're doing I'm going to be honest with you. I am not taking all my stuff up on the stage to try and record a 30-minute episode. We can talk to everybody. But if you guys want to record live from the booth at one point, I can bring my laptop and we can do that. I can bring my mixer, all that other stuff.
We are going to be Jay, we're going to be podcasting. We're going to get like 15 episodes from that weekend.
Yeah, that's what.
Now.
What is it?
No. There are no Ohio State players going to the expo, Jay, so there are no guests there that we want to talk to. We've already talked to all the people we like in the industry on the shows. We got more coming up next week.
We do. More guests, Jay.
Was it Madman, Shane? What's their pod? I'm drawing a blank for some reason.
Shane, talking about Barrett?
No.
The Trade Addicts pod?
TradeX, there you go. They had an ongoing one at their booth for like several hours. Then like Saturday night they recorded one at like 3 a.m. Like they at their they stayed at like this bed and breakfast. It was like a murder house, so it was like crazy, creepy and shit. So there's people podcasting like the whole time. Like we did an owner's manual up on stage with Adam and Chris. We did that, and it's just everybody's doing that. It's a lot of fun. And we didn't have anywhere near the turnout. Like this year is going to have like 10 times the turnout of that year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that 2019 was like one of the first years they did it. Where now I think now everybody's able to get out of their houses again, and Bob's doing really good job, obviously, of spreading the word everywhere the way that it's been going. So yeah, I think it's going to be a massive turnout this year.
Yep.
Have you seen the website, Bruning? Our logo is up. Our logo is up there on the front, or at least it was the last time I looked. Right there on the front.
You want that?
Yeah, it was a lot. It's just a lot of fun to walk around, and people doing. Even at the Hall of Fame on Saturday, you're running into guys, from ESPN and like all the big guys are just cruising around the Hall of Fame doing the King's Classic, and then there's like several spinoffs of the King Classics and then
I think like Mike Clay and all those guys are part of the King's Classic, or they were, I know, in 2019. So
a bunch of big name guys, and then there's a couple other rooms that had drafts going on too. So it was crazy.
So it's Friday through Sunday. It's not just Sunday.
Well, again, it's depends on what you want to do. Like from everything I've heard, I didn't get to go in 2019. It was either that or go to Vegas for the Fantasy Football World Championships, and I'm as much as I love Ohio, I'm choosing Vegas. So I did not go to the expo then, but from everything I heard, like the big days are Saturday, Sunday. Because Saturday you do all the stuff at the Hall of Fame. There's a bunch of different people around doing the King's Classic stuff. Then they have a massive party, and then Sunday, I believe Dynasty Nerds is supposedly hosting a big party, is what Jared said, or they're planning on hosting a big party Sunday after the event. Yeah. So that someone hosted one Sunday then. I saw the picture of everybody because obviously Dennis went for our other podcast that year, and he posted a picture of like there was, I don't know, it was like 50, 60 people wherever that was at the celebration Sunday night. They were taking pictures with everybody. So yeah, like Friday night, I think from what they told or what I read Bob post was that it's just like some big get together. They all go downtown, bar hop, hang out together and do all kinds of stuff. And then Saturday is when the Hall of Fame drafting and the party, and then Sunday night there's a party as well.
Well, I'm glad I'm getting. I hope everybody's vaccinated. I'm getting my second shot April 6th.
I'm sure everybody. Well, I don't know. I don't know what Ohio is doing. I know Texas.
I think I'm going to start coughing as soon as I cross the Ohio state line. It's just a very dingy, drab.
It's just because you're not used to that clean air of just like magnificence.
No, it's just the people there,
We're amazing. I know you're not used to it. It's okay. No offense taken. We got it.
I mean, with all due respect, it's just a disgusting toilet. With all due respect,
you're not going to Michigan. You're going to Ohio.
No. Michigan has the Great Lakes. We have beaches.
Yeah. If that's all you're known for, I'm sorry. Anyway,
sure.
You guys ready to go off?
Yeah. Let's do this.
I got to tell Dwight something, and then I got to talk to you, Bruni.
Okay.
All right.